We'll try and begin public participation in about 5 minutes, folks. Members to seats. Members to the seats, please. Members to the seats. Is that the list? Welcome to the regular meeting of the Common Council for May 28th, 2025. It is now 8:09 p.m. and this is public participation. I have a list that I'll call from. We'll check if anybody's calling in remotely, or if anybody in the room wants to speak who hasn't signed up, will be given that opportunity. You have 3 minutes. Just got to state your name and address, and then the floor is yours. And our first speaker tonight is Mary Rogers.
Good evening again. I'm Mary Rogers, living at 298 Cherry Street in New Britain. I wanted to support the resolution for recognition of May as Mental Health Awareness Month. I agree with the importance of raising awareness about mental health issues, reducing stigma, and promoting access to mental health services for all the residents. I'll add in that the New Britain Library, which is really more than books, as we've heard tonight, will be hosting a free Stronger Together Community Mental Health Fair on May 31st from 10 to 2 at the main library in the community room. I also support the resolution of recognition of June as Pride Month. I agree that LGBTQ rights are human rights and are protected by the Constitution, and that everyone should be treated fairly and equally, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. At a time when other states and the federal government are trying to take away rights and seemingly erase the existence of LGBTQ people, it is important to recognize those in the LGBTQ community. I'm glad the city will be raising the pride flag on June 2nd in Central Park. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary. Our next speaker is Ann Spire.
Good evening. Ann Spire, 13 Audubon Street. I'm here tonight to say that I am very pleased to hear that Amy Pizarski is being put forth as a person to serve on the Board of Education, because we have had to say goodbye to Joey Listro. I've worked with Amy on the library board and on the Community Relations Committee of the library board, which meant organizing large major fundraisers, whether they were events or whether they were putting out fundraising letters, etc. What I found with Amy is that she is energetic, wonderfully positive about everything, capable. When she said she was going to do something, she did it. It happened. I've worked with a lot of people in it's getting late, guys, in voluntary positions, and that's not always quite what you find. It's been a pleasure working with her because she is so capable. And what is her main specialty? Education. Amy has worked at CCSU for many years as a professor there. Not only is she quite knowledgeable in her own specialty, but her relationship with her students shows me how much she understands about needing to be committed, needing to be there for people, needing to be the person that people can turn to when they need help. If we don't appoint her to the Board of Ed, we're losing a good one. I've also seen her in other organizations that I'm active in, same pattern of capability, energy, and willingness to step up when something needs to be done and absolutely coming through with it. So I recommend to you highly Amy Pizarski. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Our next speaker is Amy Pozorski.
Thank you, Anne. Amy Pozorski, 70 Sunny Slope Drive, New Britain, Ward 4. Thank you, members of the City Council, for considering the resolution to add me to the Board of Education as Joey Listro's replacement. I think I mourned for all of us when I heard that he had moved. I want to thank you for taking my phone calls during a holiday weekend and for asking to see my resume. One of the things that came out repeatedly in our conversations is that you are looking for a member with a strong ability to see many sides of an issue and to work well with others. I realize that while I spent a lot of time showing you the products of my work this weekend, I did not do well to explain how I work and why I do what I do. I grew up in the 1980s with a single mother who sent me to a Catholic school. She thought even though the Catholic nuns believed I had a stain on my soul because her marriage was not annulled, I would get a good education. I was bullied for eating free lunch and having government cheese in the refrigerator. I lived in houses with rats, backed up sewers, and a cracked foundation. You may ask why I write so much about trauma and vulnerable children. The fact is that I was once a vulnerable child who is now an unexpectedly resilient adult. Although I had straight A's, I was consistently flagged for my inability to work with others. At Catholic schools in the Midwest in the 1980s, there were conduct reports as important as academic reports. Demerit, 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 I was assigned in the category works well with others. I decided to make that my strength growing up. It wasn't that I did not know how to interact with other people. It was that I was shy and I felt very temporary about myself. After 4 decades, 3 degrees, and dozens of leadership training sessions, I think I am a very good leader. I see the many sides of an issue. I see people for who they are rather than their affiliation. And I am an exceedingly good listener, not to mention that I get things done. I have built a reputation in trauma studies that has introduced me to people from all over the world. I have friends from Israel and Palestine, from Ukraine and Russia, India and Pakistan. It is hard to see a path out of a small town when you are abandoned by your father at the age of 8 and your mother has not gone to college. But I studied my way out. I talked to people from all over the map, and I put down my roots here in our city. I want to serve here in our city. Why am I telling you this? To show not only that I would be a good colleague on the Board of Education, but also that I identify with so many of the children in New Britain Public Schools who, like children from all over, remain vulnerable in the wake of the pandemic. Listen to the vulnerable children, or maybe vulnerable people who are not children anymore. This is the point of view behind my life's work, and I hope to be able to share it on the New Britain Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Our next speaker is John Board.
Good evening, members of the Common Council. I'm here tonight to voice my support for resolution number 5, which is the yearly Pride resolution. As you guys know, this resolution acknowledges the invaluable contributions that members of our community makes, but also affirms their commitment to human rights for all. Over the last 8 years, Mayor Stewart has encouraged our city to make remarkable strides for our community, a testament to our collective effort and to create a more inclusive and welcoming city. As chair of Pride, I'm proud of the work that we've accomplished together. And by declaring June Pride Month, we are sending a powerful message that is enshrined in the very principles of our Constitution. I encourage all of you to attend the flag raising on Monday at 9:30 a.m. right outside City Hall. On another note, earlier tonight, residents offered a heartfelt testimony about the impacts of the city's budgets on our neighborhoods. Regardless whether one agrees with their position, applause and audible reactions that followed were concerning. These kinds of responses, while understandable, can have a chilling effect on civic participation. They may unintentionally encourage or discourage others from speaking, especially with those with differing or less popular viewpoints. In the General Assembly, public hearings are governed by rules that expressly prohibit clapping, cheering, booing, or displaying signs. These rules are not about silencing expression, but they're about protecting the process and ensuring that everyone feels equally safe to speak free from pressure or judgment in the hearing room. I respectfully urge that this Common Council consider adopting and reinforcing similar guidelines here in New Britain. It is clear expectations around audience conduct that would preserve the integrity of public comment and allow all voices to be heard, and to ensure that we have a chair, someone in the chair who understands decorum and rules to make sure that everyone can be felt safe when they're expressing their viewpoints one way or another. And it can also help model standards of decorum that we all expect, both here on the city level, the state level, and even though it's declined a little bit, a national level. Once again, thank you for supporting the Pride resolution this evening, and I hope that you would consider amending your rules in the future.
Thank you, John. In the interest of decorum, thank you again. And thanks for reminding us about the flag raising. Our next speaker is Ellen Conlon.
Good evening. My name is Ellen Conlon, and I live at 50 Sunny Slope Drive. I just also wanted to speak for Amy being on the Board of Ed. I don't know if I can speak as eloquently as Amy did or as Ann did, but I would just like to comment on what a wonderful human being she is. I've known her for almost 20 years, and the qualities I would always describe her as is she's intelligent, she's kind, and she's respectful. And I think those are qualities that are really called for today. So I completely endorse her getting that position. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Our next speaker is Ruth Bruno.
Good evening. My name is Ruth Bruno. I am from New Britain, but I am temporarily living in Torrington, taking care of my parents. So 59 Whiting Avenue. Good evening to you all. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I couldn't be more honored to recommend my friend, mentor, and former professor, Amy Pozorski, for a position on this fine city's Board of Education. Tonight, I want to tell you about who Amy is as a person. And to do that, I first need to explain a little bit about CCSU, where for more than 20 years, Amy has shepherded hundreds of students to success. Specifically, I need to tell you about her role in the university's honors program, which I graduated from nearly 10 years ago. The program attracts individuals who are highly opinionated, to say the least. We come from all walks of life and all different disciplines. A typical honors class could feature an engineering major and a philosophy major sitting side by side. We come from all different backgrounds, and we fall on all sides of the political spectrum. You can imagine the arguments that ensue in a classroom. Yet, despite all of these differences, whenever I meet up with or bump into a fellow graduate from the program, one unanimous question always gets asked. How's Dr. Pozorski? Have you heard from Amy lately? What is she working on now? I have to say, as much as we appreciate all of our former faculty, we don't ask this about any of our other professors. That's because Amy has a way of connecting with people that is one of a kind. She leads with grace, with empathy, and with humanity. And people remember that. On top of it all, she gets things done. In my adult life, and as I navigate the corporate world, I'm often faced with the question, can a leader be effective and kind, realistic and optimistic, determined and diplomatic? Through Amy, I have proof that the answer to all of those questions is a resounding yes. I'm far from the only one who feels that way. I wish I could collect the number of glowing reviews I've heard over the years about Amy, about her passion for her work, inside and outside of the classroom, about her dedication to her students, her family, and her friends, about her love for her community. One former student said it best, we need more people like her. Honestly, that's why I'm here tonight. We do need more people like her. We need them in our universities, in our workplaces, in our highest offices, in our neighborhoods, on our boards of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. Next speaker on the list is Paul Catanzaro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Paul Catanzaro, 250 Hillhurst Avenue. As a parent with a child in the school system, welcome to the board. I'm sure you get the votes. A couple things. Real quick on the budget stuff. I was kind of surprised after the alderwoman brought up all the vacancies that nobody asked the superintendent why they were vacant. I didn't get that. That should have been asked. I understand they're being filled by temporary or subs, but they don't cut it. So, I mean, to me, that should have been a number one question. But I'm really here to talk about cameras. I watched that meeting. I was a little dismayed why that was tabled. See the report. They explained all the stuff they did, all the intersections that were the major accidents. They had all the reports, all the directors, the professionals did the reports, with all due respect. I know you make the decisions, but that was the time to ask the professionals. In my opinion, I'm for the cameras. I'm for them everywhere, and not just for traffic. They're used in every big city in our country and in every city across the world. They're everywhere. What does that do? That helps that gentleman right there and his whole force. We've been at the same number of police officers for probably 40 years, if anybody doesn't know that. And I'm sure the crime hasn't gone down, it's gone up. So they need all the help they can get. They do an incredible job with what they have. But cameras would be outstanding. Just real quick, you know, cutting off debate was never been one of my favorite things to do. I've been in this council a long time. Never like calling the question. Unless it just gets repetitious and people asking the same questions over and over, and that wasn't the case. This is the place where you get the debate, you ask the questions, and I'll say this again, and people get offended, do your homework. Do your homework. I hear questions here that you should know the answers. You don't just come to meetings, do your homework when you're not here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Catanzaro. I have no other names on the list. I'll inquire as to, I have one caller. Last four numbers? Hello? Oh, yes. Go ahead, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes online.
Yes, my name is Lisa Wu, and I'm at 63 Bassett Street. I'm speaking in support of improving funding for our school system and for our public library. And I can say myself that after having worked several years at a couple of libraries, I've seen for myself the many benefits that the patrons receive. People of all ages, students, and the public. So we really do need to support our public libraries and libraries in other institution. And as far as our taxes are still a little high. If we are paying higher taxes, we ought to get the best quality education system as well as a superior public library. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling.
How you doing? This is Kelly Noss again at 29 Cedar Street. I'm here in regards of, tell you a little bit about my life. I've been working for St. Mark's Church for 28 years. When I was little, 9 years old, my dad was told that he was going to die when I was 10. And he fed our community every single day until he died. He died when I was 18 years old, so it was my, every Christmas was my last Christmas. So I took over, my dad. So I worked for churches, and every check, I worked for 5 churches. I was your military guy for your Patriot missile back in Iraq days. So I ran the government, the bomb factory, I used to call it, Command Aerospace. So I was well known. I was one of the richest millionaires, but miserable millionaires. So I went to churches, and I took care of churches, five churches, and one of my paychecks, I would feed my town for 18 years right here at St. Mark's Church, every single day. Any of you know me? I've been feeding your town for, 28 years with my paychecks. I'm blessed that we got a new police officer, our police chiefs. I'm blessed to serve my town and take care of my community and take care of my community service. Community service I did for 28 years also. 6 years ago, you stopped doing community service at the fire department, the police department, and the park and rec. And I was the man that came here and told you that you were no longer liable for that. So you saved a lot of money then, because obviously you put all the liability on my plate, working right here at St. Mark's Church and taking care of all your community service. But when my head got cracked open from a community service person, not one of yous at the town hall wants to speak to me. I have 5 priests for a living at that time. 5 priests that I looked up to. They were like my brothers. But when you get hurt at a church, everybody looks at you like you're the bad guy now. I was never the bad guy. I was the guy that took care of your town with 5 priests. And then I try and talk to them about me getting hurt. And none of my priests want to talk to me because they all lawyer up. I'm not here to buy or sue nobody. I'm here to tell you that I appreciate working for this town. I appreciate what I did. I appreciate we got a new chief of police. I appreciate that my dad showed me to work and not give up. God bless you all. And you'll hear from me some more.
Thanks for speaking, Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you for cleansing my
Any-
soul.
Anybody else wish to speak? Anybody else? Anybody else? No callers on the line? That concludes public participation in the regular meeting at 8:32. I would indulge the council, if they need to speak, to be brief in the interests of my bedtime hour. Alderwoman Scott.
I'll try to be brief. Thanks, Mary, for coming out and speaking about the mental health awareness and support of it. I put that petition in because it's really important for us to really spread awareness and eliminate stigmas with mental health. And you stole my thunder. I was going to mention that. I'm going to mention it again later, but yes, the library 10 to 2 on Saturday for the mental health awareness fair. Please come out. John, thanks for, and also the Pride Month as well. So John and Mary spoke about the Pride Month. So thanks for speaking about the Pride Month. That's the first I heard about anybody feeling unsafe during our meetings, so I think maybe, I don't know, people should let us know if they feel unsafe, but I haven't heard anything about that prior to this. Amy, thank you for coming in support of you being our new on the Board of Education. You are a beautiful person inside and out, and as I told you on the phone, just expect me to be saying beautiful things about you tonight. Thank you, Anne, for coming and speaking about Amy. She's a hard worker. She's lovely, and the other people who came to support her. She's lovely inside and out. She's a hard worker. She always has a smile on her face. I mean, she's very positive. And also, thank you for sharing your story. That's what I wanted to say. That was absolutely beautiful, sharing that with everybody. And Paul, I want to thank you for coming out. The item, the item was tabled. Okay. Thanks for, okay, yes, you're right. Sorry.
Can you turn your mic on, please?
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. The item was tabled, and it's tabled, but it's gonna be coming up again. And, we're trying to make very educated decisions. We do work really hard on the council, and it's our responsibility to really make the best decisions, and sometimes they take time. I mean, it's not a rush. And Lisa, thank you so much for calling in. And Kelly, thank you for coming and sharing your information. And God bless you too.
God bless you. Paul.
Thank you. Any alderman wish to say anything else? Nothing else? Alderman Santiago.
Real quick, appreciate everyone coming out to talk, and especially supporting Amy. We have the resolution, so I'm going to conserve that until that time to speak about it. But personally, they're asking for someone that is professional, educated, and understands, you're that person. So I don't want to hear any excuses, because there isn't any. Because I've seen many people come through the system, through elections and everything else, and I'm sorry, you should have been running probably 2 years ago. I'm sorry, just be honest. But at this point in time, this is where it's at, what it is. Kelly, appreciate the service. And I remember you doing all the things you've done. And then it was remarkable with the services you've done for the people, that the unhoused and everything. Yep. Paul, again, some people assume that they're not doing their job or they're not educating themselves. The problem is the report didn't come. The report that we wanted was before that day. It didn't come to that day. So if we're going to get a report, we want it before that, so we have the questions that we need to ask before that. So that was the reason why it got tabled, was because they had to do their homework and absorb all that information. Because I'm sorry, you might want to not, but we're not going to be this group that keeps just voting for everything and is good. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I have people come to me that are educated individuals, that big homes, everything, and said, take a look at those cameras before you put them in. And that's why we wanted to make sure. And the information that we asked, one of the information was where those cameras are put at. And there was no places they gave us that was substantial enough information until that day. We were asking prior to that, but it didn't until that day. I'm not going back and forth. That was just answering his question.
I didn't rule you out of order, but come on.
I will cut it short. But that being said, and also the frightened, John Board. Again, individuals come in here, they feel expressed. Sometimes clapping is their way of expressing. Again, go to our nation right now. They clap, they yell, they express themselves, and this is our nation, government. Both sides, not one side, both sides do this. So at the point in time you're asking for us to do something like that, tell our government that's up there to show that step first and show us how that works. And then we come down here and respect the people that come here. Because again, you know what? There's barely people coming here every time. And if they do, sometimes this council make them feel uncomfortable enough that they won't want to come back here. because of the remarks that are being said. And those are remarks. There's not clapping, they're not yelling. These are remarks, individuals that have here, and then they don't want to come back because of that. So if we're going to do that, let's do it all the way around. Let's do the council, the nation, and our people in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman. No, hey.
I had to clap.
Sure. Briefly, Alderman.
Oh, please, briefly.
Severe.
Very, very briefly. First, I'm going to say, Paul, thank you for your comments. Our caucus didn't have a problem with the item actually being tabled as much as we had a problem with the debate being stopped. Because immediately from moving the question, it went to a tabling motion, and those of us in the room, whether we came late or not, were not able to put our thoughts out on the table. So that is a problem for me, but so be it. It's coming back up again. And we did have a public session on the cameras as well as other traffic issues last week, and nobody from the other side came. But in any case, I want to go to say something to Amy. This will probably be the first time we're all going to agree on something. I don't know you, Amy, but you were a delight to talk to. It was very nice of you to reach out. It was nice to have your resume ahead of time instead of you just coming today and us not knowing anything about you. It really was all of us talk to each other to say, yeah, everybody touch base one way or the other with you. I know you reached out to the mayor as well. We really appreciate that. And I probably got more emails about you than I did about the budget. So that says a lot about the people who support you and have confidence in the service that you will offer to the Board of Education. So I'm pretty sure you could count on a unanimous vote here tonight. And I wish you well in your service on the Board of Education.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman Barboza.
To Ms. Alderwoman Benoit Saavedra's comment about the other side not being at the meeting that they caucused at, I will tell you, we have jobs and we have families to take care of. We don't have a husband who sends us a paycheck from somewhere outside of the United States. And not only did it affect us, not only was the timing bad for—
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Direct insult to me. Point of order. Puerto Rico's in the United States.
I'm not talking to you. But once again, back to my comment, we have jobs, okay? And not only was the timing bad, it didn't only affect the other party, it affected citizens within New Britain who also have jobs that couldn't attend that meeting. Had it been scheduled at an evening hour, maybe 6, maybe you would have had more participation.
Okay, please, nothing personal. If I could interject, no, I'm sorry, Alderman Smedley, go ahead.
I just want to correct absolutely. Just the fact the traffic forum was at 6 p.m. in a public location at the police department in the community service room, attended by many members of the public and the police department. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Let me just say to cool our jets, tomorrow morning, the Vision Zero Task Force meets.
No need to be swearing, Sharon Saavedra.
Out of order. You're out of order.
No, let's, Mr. Board's decorum. We're not listening to Mr. Board here. Come on. So please, tomorrow morning, the Vision Zero Task Force meets. I hope this is the end of this conversation or this session, where we'll get the draft report and we'll move forward. Alderman Simpson, 30 seconds.
Deal. Honestly, I don't mean for this to be a controversial statement, but when the Rudd Caucus held their event, I did contemplate on going, but had all 7 of you been present, the moment 8 council members are together discussing a piece of business that is on city council, correct. If we discuss official city business with a quorum present, this becomes what is known by our Freedom of Information Act laws as an illegal meeting. And so I appreciate that the Rudd Caucus held an event to expand the conversation, to include more community members, but to include the notion that had any Democrats attended, it would have been an illegal meeting and we would have had to stop all discussion there. So I did make the purposeful absence of my own to prevent that from happening. If it's accurate, okay. If it's not accurate, that's okay too. You guys still had your meeting. And honestly, I'm glad the
Thank you.
discussion happened.
We can, I'd urge this discussion to continue after the meeting, respectfully, of course. Hearing no other alderman, this part of the meeting is concluded at 8:43. The regular meeting will begin shortly.
All right. If all alderpersons could take their seats, we're going to start the meeting. I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the New Britain Common Council. The time is 8:48 p.m., May 28th, 2025. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderpersons McNamara.
Here.
Smedley. Sanchez. Beloin Saavedra. Simpson. Russell.
Here.
Barbosa. Hargraves. McAdam. Gibson. Scott.
Here.
Connors. Malinowski. Pabon. Santiago.
Present.
14 present, Your Honor.
Thank you. 15 present. Alderman Simpson is here. Can we all please rise
15.
for the invocation? It'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. O God, our Heavenly Father, we give pause to remember the brave New Britain men and women who have served our country, all serving honorably, some giving their lives. May we remember their dedicated service, devotion to country, and sacrifice for others. We ask this in thy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Alderman Santiago, I see no minutes and no amendments.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Wait a second, and no petitions?
No petitions, Your Honor.
All right, consent agenda, Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor, and make a motion to accept the consent agenda of items A, B, C, and D.
Second by Alderwoman Sanchez. Are there any questions on the consent agenda of A, B, C, and D? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderpersons McNamara.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Beloin Saavedra. Simpson.
Yes.
Russell. Barbosa. Hargraves. McAdam. Gibson. Scott. Connors. Malinowski. Pabon. Santiago.
Yes.
15-0, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Item 1, Alderman Simpson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I rise to make a motion to accept and adopt item number 1.
Second by Alderwoman Sanchez.
Thank you. This is a certificate of location approval to allow the state DMV issuance of a motor vehicle repair at 150 Production Court, Suite 2. I urge adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Simpson. Any questions or comments on item number 1? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman Barbosa.
Your Honor, I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 2.
Seconded by Alderman Connors.
This, it's regarding item 36815, regarding authorization for joining the Connecticut Municipal Development Authority, CMDA, as a member, and I urge adoption.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Connors.
Good evening, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 3.
Seconded by Alderman Santiago.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Amy Pazorski for the open seat on the New Britain Board of Education, recently vacated by Joey Listro. I do want to take a moment to thank Joey, wherever he may be, at the shoreline perhaps, for his dedicated service and his leadership on the board. His also work with New Britain Roots brought meaningful hands-on education to our kids, environmental and agricultural education, as well as his stewardship at the BOE was solid, and he will be missed. But replacing him is someone of equal or more impressive accomplishments. Dr. Pazorski is an accomplished educator, trusted neighbor, a Ward 4 resident, passionate advocate for public education, and she holds a PhD from Emory University. She's a professor of English, and she also directs the Racial Justice Certificate Program. She's authored 3 books on trauma and literature, with a 4th on housing justice forthcoming. Her commitment to New Britain runs deep, as you have heard from the numerous folks who have come to speak on her behalf, as well as the volume of emails we got from all over town. She has years of volunteering at Holmes, Lincoln, Howells, serving as PTO president, youth soccer league officer. The parents and colleagues that have emailed describe her as someone who listens, leads with empathy, works tirelessly for students and families, and as one supporter put it, Amy just doesn't just show up, she delivers results. And so with her deep experience, collaborative spirit, and love for the city, it's with a great pleasure I do move for her adoption of this resolution, appointing her to the vacancy on the Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Connors. Any questions or comments on item number 3? Alderwoman Scott.
I just want to really quickly say, again, beautiful person inside and out, and I'm really excited for you. So congratulations, and we will miss Joey.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I'll sign it.
Your Honor, I'm going to do it. Right there, going to swear you in.
Thank you.
You got to swear you
right
in.
there. Thank you.
I told you it was unanimous. Welcome, please. Yeah, oh, you want to say something? Please.
Go, oh, you don't want to say anything? All right, well, Mark's going to come over and swear. That's fine. I thought you were going to say something. I was like, please, the floor is yours. But if not, just raise your right hand and Mark will get you the rest.
Please raise your right hand. You, Amy Pazorski, having been appointed to the office of school board for the city of New Britain, solemnly swear that you will faithfully and honestly perform the duties of the office of school board for the city of New Britain to the best of your judgment and skill, so help you God. Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you again. Like receiving my phone call at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning of Memorial Day weekend was probably not on your list of things to do. So I really appreciate the conversations we had, and I'm looking forward to working more for the city. So thank you, everyone.
Congratulations. Thank you. Moving on to item 4, Alderwoman Scott.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 4.
Second by Alderman Santiago.
This is to recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health is essential to all of our well-being and our individuals, families, and communities. In Connecticut, 20% of adults experience mental health disorders in the year 2021, highlighting the widespread impact of mental health challenges in our state. 2022, they were reported 10.6 out of a million people were tragically lost, 398 tragically lost to suicide. And Connecticut has already faced a heartbreaking loss of students to suicide, underscoring the urgent need for mental health support among youth. The City of New Britain recognizes the importance of raising awareness of mental health issues, reducing the stigma, and promoting access to mental health services to all residents. And I just wanted to point out, like, the stigma it's really hard when people get labeled. We just need to really support people and recognize and let them know that it's not their fault and that they're not alone, and try to avoid labeling people with a mental health disorder. And I wanted to give a shout out to the library also, that they are having 10 to 2, the Mental Health Awareness Fair will be there. And we just need to advocate policies that help strengthen mental health awareness and supporting our community and our friends and our families and our neighbors. And if anybody out there needs any mental health services, please do not be afraid. Don't feel like you're alone. I'm pretty sure everybody here on this council would accept your call. You can Google search for a therapist. Go on, just Google, put your zip code in. Psychology Today is a great platform. There's a whole lot of providers around the country that you can find services and help, and you could call 211. I mean, there's just so many things. So if you need help, please don't be afraid and don't feel like you're alone, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any other questions or comments on item number 4? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, Alderman Smedley.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 5 because it's okay to be gay.
Seconded by Alderwoman Saavedra.
Thank you. I rise as a proud gay council member, and I'd like to read the resolution into record, Your Honor. Members of this council support the rights, freedoms, and equality of those who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning LGBTQ+, for short, for the rest of this resolution. And whereas over the last several years, the city has been increasing its human rights campaign score, and whereas individuals in the city who are LGBTQ+ have made and continue to make vital contributions to every aspect of our city. And therefore be it resolved that the New Britain Common Council, 1, recognizes that LGBTQ rights are human rights and are protected by the Constitution. 2, recognizes that all residents should be treated fairly and equally regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. 3, encourage all residents to join the celebration of LGBTQ Pride Month. Our flag raising is June 2nd. In Central Park, to provide a continuing opportunity for all persons to learn about the discrimination and equality that has been faced. 4, aims to continue to increase our human rights campaign municipality equality Index, or MEI score, in the coming years. And 5, agrees that the city of New Britain must strive to ensure that the promise of equality is realized for all. Now therefore be resolved, the Common Council of the City of New Britain and Mayor Aaron E. Stewart, that we hereby declare the month of June as Pride Month in the city, and encourage all individuals to partake in our events celebrating the progress of the LGBTQ plus community. And Mayor, again, June 2nd will be our flag raising ceremony, and I just want to extend a huge thanks to John Board, who's the chair of our New Britain Pride Committee, who organizes our Pride Month celebrations every year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other alderperson wish to speak on item number 5? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 tonight, Alderman Malinowski.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 6.
Second from Alderman Gibson.
And this is a response to a public bid, and it authorizes the purchasing agent to enter into a contract with Tunxus Ore Fuel Incorporated of Meriden, Connecticut, for fuel oil at a fixed rate of $2.2852 per gallon for a period from May 29, 2025 to June 30, 2026. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Hargraves, number 7.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 7.
And seconded from Alderman Russell.
This is a bid, public bid number 4199 for on-call building repairs and replacements for the Stanley Golf Course Caddy Shack. The Caddy Shack remains in disrepair with holes in the roof and unstructurally sound. The project would include a complete replacement of the roofs, siding, windows, and doors to make sure that the Caddy Shack can be restored. House Patel provided a low price of $32,039.08, and that was the lowest price of the scope of work to make repairs to the Caddy Shack at Stanley Golf Course, and I do urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Hargraves. Any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman Sanchez, item 8.
Thank you, Your Honor. I made a motion to accept and adopt item number 8.
Second from Alderman Smedley.
Thank you. This resolution is for the bid 4199 on-call building repairs and replacements for the New Britain Police Department dog pound HVAC replacement. And it reads like this: whereas the following bid number 4199 on-call building repairs replacement project was approved by the Common Council at its regular meeting of April 23, 2025. And whereas the dog pound HVAC system, including heating and cooling, is well past its life expectancy and requires replacement. This includes the installation of a new energy efficient gas furnace and condensing unit related equipment. And whereas Perfect Temp provided the price of $10,726 was the lowest price for the scope of work provided, and whereas funding is available for this purchase within the Support Services Department, PD Building Grounds Maintenance and Repairs, account 00131-6003-5435, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any questions or comments on this item?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alderman Smedley.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just rise in support of this resolution. Anything that we can do to support our officers who do a fantastic job, and that's exactly what Officer Hicks does out there with our dog pound. And I want to ensure the correct and proper IAQ for our pod friends who live there on a regular basis. I feel like his Facebook page sometimes, or the posts that get put up, should be a reality show. So I just rise in support of this. It's late, sorry.
Any other comment? Alderman Hargraves.
Just very shortly, according to Officer Hicks, it's not the dog pound, it's a hotel.
Oh, that's right.
So,
That is correct.
and I also urge adoption.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item number 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept number 9 and refer it to the Committee on Planning, Zoning, and Housing.
I have a second from Alderman Santiago.
Yes, I believe Ms. Bosco is here, and while this is being referred, I think this is an opportune time for the council and the city to have a discussion about the downtown district and how we can work better together in terms of serving merchants and downtown owners But if I could I ask Ms. Bosco to come up and talk about who the taxpayers are in the district?
Sure.
And then I'd urge referral. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Honor, council members. Question?
Good evening. Thanks. Oh, I asked the questions, huh? Okay. Thanks. Ms. Bosco, I thought it'd be good to share who the taxpayers are in the district, and if you could provide that. And then, as I said, I'd like to have a fuller discussion in the committee and then bring it back in terms of how partners and everybody could work better together.
Sure, I can answer the first part of that. So the downtown district, for everyone's refresh everyone's memory, established in 1983. We're a downtown special services district. We're one of 14 in the state. There's about 42 other Main Street programs within the state, and that's more like a Chamber of Commerce setup. But New Britain was one of the first. Within our district, you're looking at New Bright Plaza all the way down to the courthouse, and then we tee across West Main from the old post office building to Columbus Commons. It's about 126 properties. This year's grand list added one more, which was the Strand development, and 102 of the properties within the district are actually the tax-paying entities, meaning they are charged a separate mill rate tax on top of the real estate tax, and that goes into our budget, and that is how we do our efforts to revitalize downtown. Did that answer?
All right, and can you tell us, you moved into your headquarters, and yeah, I think what we want to do in committee is discuss the variances in the budget and why things changed a bit. So I have no further questions now, but if you can make yourself available for that committee, that would be important.
Can you maybe specify what changed a grand bit? Because our increase only went up $1,500.
I know the tax, the mill rate went down, and I know it's our job to approve that mill rate. But I know the commissioners approved the budget.
Yeah, so the Board of Commissioners approved my budget April 8th, and then that went to our entire downtown district membership at our annual meeting where all the property owners meet annually to vote on our budget and our slate of commissioners. That was also approved there. So this would be, should it be passed, would be the third consecutive mill rate drop in 3 years, from 2.9 previously to 3.25, and before that even 3.9. So we're able to do that because the assessments have gone up on properties, mostly attributed to the Brit and the High Railer. So it's allowing us to drop that mill rate significantly and hopefully continue to do so over time as downtown continues to evolve.
All right, well, thank you. I'd like to talk further in the committee about it. That's all the questions I have.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of the referral, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Santiago, item 10.
Thank you, Your Honor. For Russell, say, turn the mic.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 10.
Second from Alderwoman Sanchez.
This is an agreement with SLR International Corporation for $70,600 to assist with inspections of the mill and pave portion of the 2025 annual pavement rehabilitation program. And the funds would be coming out of the Public Works Department account number 2553-15034-5454, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this item? Alderman Smedley.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to point out that this is yet again another use of the on-call engineering services that allow our public works departments to execute projects quickly and efficiently. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Made by Alderman Santiago, seconded by Alderman Russell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. The time is 9:08 p.m. Thank you all.